He was alone again. This time, however, he didn't feel as though his world had crashed around him, leaving him cast into confusion. He walked through the forest along a path beside the river. He knew this river. It began high in the hills above his village and had formed a part of his world for as long as he could remember. He had swum, bathed, fished and raced small leaf boats along its banks. His father had always explained that the river was different every time, new, reborn from the rains that fell in the hills. To him, though, this never made sense. To him, the river always was. He had asked where the river went, and everybody always just said, away. Away was the place everybody had come from. Away was the place that some people went when they felt restless with the calm routine of the village. To him, away seemed like a far-off land of dreams. Now he was going away. It was only a few days ago that the woman had decided that they needed to separate. They had talked about her finding soldiers. She had decided to gather the soldiers they would need to confront the Queen, and intended to begin with her old command. This had made him uncomfortable. These were soldiers that had destroyed his village, but she had explained that they would know her, and that maybe they deserved a chance to atone for what they had done as well. Most of them were good people, she had said quietly. Some of them probably regretted their actions and wanted to face the memories of that day and put them to rest. Privately, he thought that those men could rot in the hells and he'd be happy to put them there, but he kept his thoughts to himself. In any case, the captain had said that this was a job she needed to do alone, and they had agreed to split up. He was to make his way to the Stronghold settlement, and they would meet up there. She had told him to see the land, meet the people, talk with them, and to gauge their temper. She spoke bluntly. If the people loved the Queen, their cause, no matter how righteous, would fail. This shocked him. This Queen had sent soldiers to his village and countless others, killed his family, stolen children, and put homes to the torch. She was a monster that deserved death. He had had violent and bloody thoughts about avenging his family and village, of striding through the gates, cutting down her guards and confronting the Queen. She would plead for mercy and he would not give it. He would give her justice. The people would roar their approval. The captain had told him not to be a bloody idiot. She stared into the flames for a moment. Most people just want to be left alone, and some measure of certainty, she had said. They want to know that when they get up, they'll be able to do what they need to do and then come home. Farmers want to know that they'll be around later to harvest the crop they put in now. Everyone else, much the same. They want to know that their children are going to grow up. They want tomorrow to look like today. She poked the fire between them. Takes a lot to get them wanting to upset the cart. Rebellions, uprisings, taking on the leaders is a big risk. Might make things worse, eh? Better the misery you know than whatever misery might come. She poked the stick at him to make a point. If the people aren't ready, we've got no chance. So you go out there and look and listen. See what people say and what they're not saying. So here he was, getting out there. He'd already walked for a few days now and was expecting something. He vaguely remembered that there was another settlement south of his home. Trade and exchange happened occasionally, for nobody made or grew everything they needed or wanted. He heard singing and complaining, albeit in a good-natured tone. Picking his way cautiously forward, he came across a young couple by the riverbank. A young man was hauling in a fish trap, complaining, and a young lady, the owner of the singing voice, was sitting to his side. Shifting his pack from one shoulder to the other, he tried for a nonchalant greeting, but what emerged was an embarrassing cross between a squawk and a croak. He attempted to cover with a cough. At the riverbank, the couple turned with open curiosity, the young lady with a peculiar tilt to her head. Hello there, traveller, the young man offered with a smile. You've come down from upriver to see how the great fisherman, Eomin the fish whisperer, entices the fruits of the river into his traps. He gestured expansively as he delivered this speech, finishing with a dramatic flourish. He was met with an astonished look of utter confusion and an open mouth. I suppose it is a bit overwhelming to meet me in the flesh, but rest assured that I am indeed a mortal man and not some river spirit. Stop it, Eomin, the young woman said. Our traveller will think you're touched by the spirits, and not in a good way. Forgive my brother. If he worked as hard as his mouth moves, we'd be buried under fish. She was not looking at him, but he caught that peculiar tilt of her head again. Ah, yes, I've come from upriver and, I'm heading down to the Stronghold, eventually. He trailed off and he felt acutely that he was probably coming off as slow of wit. You know, travelling. The young man, Eomin, appeared delighted with this news and began looping up his trap ropes with a practiced economy. Well, you'll not get much further before night, so you might as well stay with us. Do you like fish? Too bad. I didn't catch any. We'll have something else. Why are you going to Stronghold? Are you by yourself? What's it like upriver? This torrent of questions felt like sparring with the captain and losing. Eomin, stop it, the young woman interrupted, but Eomin continued, peppering questions between humorous anecdotes about his prowess as a fisherman. They walked that way, the young lady holding Eomin's arm, into a village preparing itself for the evening under a lowering sun.